It is game day as the Carolina Hurricanes head to the island to take on the New York Islanders. Carolina coming into the game 30-16-3 on a 4-game win streak coming off of a big win against Columbus. The Islanders heading into this game 19-20-7, and they did play last night, so look for tired legs on the Islanders side. As you do take a look at the Islanders players to watch, we have Bo Horvat, 45 games played, 16 goals, 19 assists for 35 points. Anders Lee with 46 games played, 20 goals, 16 assists, and 36 points. And then Brock Nelson, who is supposed to be trade bait coming into this trade deadline, 46 games played, 20 goals, 16 assists. 13 goals, 15 assists for 28 points. I was looking at Anders Lee right above him. But yeah, we digress. I'm going to pass it over to you guys. Islanders will be coming into this game after playing Philly last night. Carolina has kind of had a busy week as well, too. Are you expecting Carolina to have tired legs after having to travel again, or do you think Carolina should have the upper hand with New York playing last night?
No, I definitely think we'll have the energy. I mean, if it's whether or not we bring it right away or not. That's the question. We've been so inconsistent on that all year that you don't know. But I don't think fatigue is going to be a factor. We didn't see it in the back to back last week, and they came out with 2 victories. So I would say that fatigue's not going to be the issue. It's going to be more whether or not the Islanders lull them to sleep, with the way they play the game. So I think they just have to stay awake, I guess, for the most part, and just play our game. If we play our game, should not be a challenge.
Yeah, I mean, 5 games in 8 days is rough for sure. So I mean,
with travel on pretty much every trip.
Pretty much, yeah. No, yeah, literally, they have day at home with the one home game with Columbus, but yeah, they're pretty much traveling every single day for the last 8 days. So really the last 10 because the Buffalo game as well. So yeah, they've been on the road a lot, for them. So, but yeah, it really just depends on what the Islanders do. I think the Canes will be consistent. I see that in them now. They're finally getting back to that place where it's, what to expect. Even when they went down early on Columbus, I wasn't too concerned because I knew, like, hey, if they just got to stick with it and it'll get, the result will follow. So I think it's the same thing against the Islanders too. So the Islanders are very much, like you said, they're kind of boring to play against. They play a heavy defense and try and play counterattack. So as long as you can limit their, off the rush chances, then they don't really have much, honestly.
100% agree. The Islanders are one of those teams that they try to play a similar style to Carolina. They just aren't as effective at it. So if we play our game and we do what we need to do, we disallow them from generating any offensive chances because thankfully we're finally coming up against a team that doesn't generate a ton of offense off of the rush. So they're going to try and generate it through offensive zone pressure and through forechecking the living daylights out of you. Carolina's basically number one team at forechecking the daylights out of you. So it's just going to be, if Carolina plays their hockey and the way they can play, should be an easy win. If not, Islanders are a very capable team of winning games and they can score. So just purely depends on how Carolina wants to show up in this one. But I suspect Kochetkov will get the start. And then Hogeberg will be Hogeberg. My apologies. I can't remember to pronounce the guy's name. The backup for the Islanders will be going since Semyon Varlamov is still out and Sorokin's supposed to be getting the start tonight in Philly. So we will see. Should have better information after the Philly game. But as you can tell, I'm kind of dating this. We are recording pre. But anyways, one final thing I do want to make a note of. William Carrier just announced that he's going to be on LTIR for the rest of the season, out for the rest of the year. I'm not sure if they said out for playoffs as well, too. I know he just had surgery recently, so probably a couple months recovery anyways. But just a massive loss for Carolina. I kind of want to get your guys' thoughts on that, and does that kind of change what Carolina needs to add come trade deadline?
No, well, yes and no. I think they've been playing decent without him, but he's definitely a miss. He's definitely a huge miss, but I still think, and I think we've all said this, and I probably maybe not so much as you guys, but I still think that second line center, somebody that can play that role and with consistency is going to be what's going to be needed down the road. So wherever you get that player at, I think that's what we need to target. I think defensively we're okay. I think goaltending, if Freddie stays healthy, they manage it properly, we're okay there. So I think that second line center is a spot.
Yeah, I don't see it being a huge issue. I mean, obviously Carey is for sure a miss. I thought he was probably the best ad the Canes had over the offseason, just with what he brings to each game. But yeah, I mean, they've figured out a way to kind of do it without him at this point. Now, again, if that continues, then, great. If not, then, obviously you make some other looks. But yeah, I think if they can throw him on LTIR, use his cap space to pick up somebody, in the meantime, I think that works out nice for him. Even just signing him on a rental is fine, basically through the end of the year, and taking on a guy that's in the last year of their contract. There are those guys out there. So
Brock Nelson being one of them. So
that's what I mean. Like, you pick up a guy like him, I mean, you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah,
you pick up a guy like him.
He's such a pesky player too, and for some reason I think he always has his best game against us. I have no idea why, but it seems like everybody seems to elevate their game when they play us. And I've said for a long time, I love the way this guy plays, and I think he would be a good ad for us for sure.
Well, that will be the wrap for this pregame preview. But like we always say, let's go Canes.